It's happened again. For the second time in the Hansi Flick era, Barcelona has given Real Madrid an epic beatdown. And beyond that result, we're dealing with a team that's shown on multiple occasions that they can go toe-to-toe with the best in the world. Hansi Flick is here to stay, and his new game plan is turning this Barcelona team into one of the scariest they've been in years. But how is he doing all of this then? To understand how good Hansi Flick is and his game plan, we need to take a look at what Barcelona was before his arrival. I'll get to that in a quick second, but first, hit that subscribe button to Kicks with Seb if you haven't already. Under Xavi Hernandez, one of the club's all-time greats, Barcelona was in a confusing state.
Speaking of Barcelona, what a lovely another quiet day it has been for Joan Laporta, as it was confirmed that Xavi is sacked. This has been quite the soap opera. If you go back to, say, 2023, September, signs an extension with the club to take him through next season.
In the end, the best way to sum it all up was that the issue off the pitch seemed to be creeping into the field. Barcelona failed to retain La Liga. For a large part of the season, even when they won, they looked very unconvincing and at times flat. And in the end, the whole Xavi and Joan Laporta situation escalated into the club deciding to let go of Xavi, and the search for a new manager was on. That search didn't last long though. Hansi dated Flick, the former manager of the German national team, but also, to Barcelona fans, the man responsible for one of the darkest days in the club's history.
Ein herausragendes Spiel von uns auch, wir sollen uns erfreuen an dem Spiel und wir wissen aber alle, und das war auch in der Kabine zu spüren, ja, dass man sich natürlich freut auf auch die Art und Weise, wie man das 8:2 herausgespielt hat. Aber man hat natürlich noch einiges vor der Brust und das nächste Spiel ist schon da. Und wir alle wissen, wie schnell das im Fußball gehen kann.
Flick was the manager of the Bayern team that beat Barcelona 8-2 in 2020 on their way to winning the Champions League that year. Initially, the big question was whether or not Flick would be able to implement his tactics into the Barcelona team, especially after his failure with the German national team, where they failed to get out of the 2022 World Cup group stages. Safe to say so far, Hansi Flick has been proving his doubters wrong. So what exactly are Hansi Flick's tactics? You think about managers like Pep Guardiola, the emphasis being on controlling the game, or a manager like Jose Mourinho, who wants to win by any means necessary, whereas with Hansi Flick,
for me, it's I'm always looking about the performance the team made, and also how was our match plan and how they do it, and they follow our match plan, and it was really great to see. So this is for me more important about the things. I said it before.
His idea is to dominate. You listen to Hansi Flick week in and week out, and his idea has been pretty much the same. He has a certain way he wants his team to play, which we will get to, but the point here is that Flick believes first in his tactics, and he knows if the players can apply that principle on the pitch, they'll be just as effective. Tactics have played a huge part of this season, or if anything, the twist. The lack of it. Last season, the major problem with Barcelona was the lack of creative freedom and how predictable they were. Take for instance a player like Rafinha, one of Barcelona's shining examples this season, talking about the fact that he knows, despite how well he played around the 70th minute mark, he was always going to get substituted, or the fact that Barcelona became a team that in the final minutes of the game seemed to be unable to effectively see out results. When you had players like Robert Lewandowski, another one of Barcelona's shining examples this season, playing like this.
Cheaply, Lewandowski should be two.
Pedri's arriving, he's given one defender.
Return ball, instead it's come for an
Lewandowski, and Lewandowski's in, went for the cue.
His form was so bad that the club was considering bringing a potential replacement for the Polish striker in the current season, and there was even talk about selling him in the summer. The point is that with all these players and the team in general, the mood was flat. But Hansi Flick has come in, and as the games have progressed, we begin to understand how he wants his Barcelona team to operate. When I mentioned the word dominate earlier, I really wasn't joking. On paper, Barcelona plays a 4-3-3 system, but in reality, watching the team in the game results in more formations that do justice to how the team plays. Let's start from the back. Hansi Flick's combination of two similar yet contrasting players is proving to be a big addition to the squad. At At 17 years old, it's incredible to think that Pau Kubashi, talent for the future, is already staking his claim to becoming the most important part of the team right now. I mean, the list of stuff he's on top of already, it's mind-blowing. He is first in the number of offensive actions from his half with 217, has completed the second most passes in the league with 1,286, and the second most offensive touches with 1,207, and his passing accuracy of 92.99 even has him in the top 10 in that category. All of these are just pointers to the fact that Kubashi, at his age, is a Barcelona product that is proving very effective for Flick. This season, he's played majority in defense with a man who many believed wouldn't fit Barcelona's system. Inigo Martinez ranks in the 96th percentile for passes completed this season, 98th percentile for progressive passes, and 98th percentile for progressive carries. He's doing this for Barcelona at 33. These two make up half the back four, and out wide, the fullbacks are just as effective, despite having slightly different roles. With Alejandro Balde, Flick has a player he trusts to push up the field to maintain the width, and when he does get the chance, deliver quality balls like this into the box.
Yes, again, the difference between Barca defense and Real Madrid defense.
Or even get on the end of goal-scoring chances himself. Over on the right, Jules Koundé is a bit more reserved, but that doesn't mean he doesn't join the offensive phase of the game. 3 assists against Red Star Belgrade is proof that he can get into those offensive numbers just like Balde. Before we get into the midfield and what makes them so dynamic yet, see that subscribe button to Kicks with Seb? Hit it if you haven't already so you don't miss out on quality videos like this. Right, to the midfield now. And this is where the magic happens for Flick. Using data from both the La Liga and the Champions League this season, Barcelona has averaged 67.2% possession and 59.7% possession in respective competitions. Now, given the system of football Barcelona plays, this shouldn't be anything new. Except it is, because under Flick, Barcelona's idea of possession has a twist to it. They're winning the ball back high up the pitch by pressing non-stop. As soon as they lose the ball back, it's all systems go until they regain possession. And the first negative with this should be that pushing that high up could leave spaces open at the back for the opposition to counter. But as we've seen on several occasions this season, the backline is well prepared for this situation. They've mastered the offensive trap to a T. This again is another masterstroke from Hansi Flick. A negative in the style of play of both Kubashi and Inigo Martinez is that neither is exactly blessed with pace. But what they lack with this, they make up for collectively as a unit. Another reason why the midfield is so important to Hansi Flick is because that's the main area he wants the team to operate from. They operate in zones, and Hansi Flick knows if he has control of the ball in the middle of the pitch, the team can then decide to spread the ball across wide zones or play through the middle. Flick overloads the midfield with his best players. Marc Casador has been one of the best Barcelonian players in this season, and that's because of his ability to play in tight spaces and keep the ball. The same with Pedri, who needs no introduction. However, with the addition of Dani Olmo, Flick now adopts a system where one of his 3 midfielders now plays almost as an auxiliary advanced player or a number 10, behind a front 3 who are equally just as flexible. Rafinha, Robert Lewandowski, Lamine Yamal. Let's start with Rafinha. Incredible goals versus Real Madrid in El Clasico, and these don't even reach half of the highlights the Brazilian has had this season. He has 19 goals, 11 assists in 27 games. That's 31 goal contributions in January already, the most productive season of his career so far, and he knows he has the trust of his manager as well.
Fantastic. Players like him, the way he combines intense defensive and offensive ability with his technique. I haven't had a player like that.
Hansi Flick saying here he's never had a player like him, one who's willing to chase the ball for as long as possible, can only give the Brazilian more reason to keep playing the way he has been. From getting subbed on the 70th minute mark with Xavi, he's now become a very key part of this Barcelona team. Rafinha starts down the left, but because of how flexible the attack is, you see him pick up various positions across the pitch, centrally or out wide, depending on the situation. Could go on and on with Rafinha this season, because he's been that good, but in the middle, it's a man Hansi Flick is all too familiar with. Robert Lewandowski, in Hansi Flick's eyes, the best striker in the world. He deserves the recognition too. This season, we're seeing a version of Lewandowski that's similar to the 2020 version that should have won the Ballon d'Or. He's not just a goal scorer now, he's also become very effective in other aspects of his game. That flexible attack now means Lewandowski doesn't have to stay centrally positioned. He can either drop deep to link up the play, or as we've seen on occasions this season, drift wide in a bit to link up with the wingers. Down the right, this kid. It gets incredibly hard to believe that Lamine Yamal is 17, watching him every week. His most recent display versus Real Madrid is just another one of the list of things to come from Yamal. Under Flick, Lamine Yamal is playing with even more freedom than he did under Xavi. He has license to take on his man and beat him, but also knows that all of that would be ineffective if he either isn't getting into goal-scoring positions or creating for his teammates. 8 goals and 12 assists in all competitions this season. 20 goal contributions in 23 games for a 17-year-old. This is insane. Hansi Flick's Barcelona team is a machine right now, and that's because he's making the most out of a secret weapon the club has had for years. La Masia, Barcelona's homegrown talent, playing the best football under Flick. They've been formed into a core in his Barcelona team now. The likes of Yamal, Balde, Kubarsi, and Xavi. It all makes for a very exciting system, and a team that's functioning properly under Flick. What do you guys think? Is Barcelona really that good? Let us know in the comments below.